Hello, you've caught me.
That's what you get for starting the video the same way every week!
It's a strange thing, isn't it, a game's relationship with its players? The unique nature of the medium allows developers to mess with the audience in ways you simply couldn't with other art forms. Imagine a movie that starts with the actor looking directly into the camera berating you for not being clever enough to understand the fourth wall-breaking metatextual straw man joke you're unwittingly a part of. You. Yes, you. You. Sitting there in bed watching this on your phone. You didn't even understand that last sentence, did you? You idiot! I bet you didn't flinch at that, actually, because if you're watching this, then you're probably a gamer, and as such, are used to these kind of shenanigans, being tested and punished right from the off. Sometimes video games will be right on your case from the moment you hit new game, with some examples so full on they'll leave you wheezing on the floor like a winded schoolchild. And it just so happens I can think of exactly 7. And here they are, 7 video games that kicked your butt right at the start. You noob.
This is literally going beyond a joke now.
No, it's a joke. The first game that kicked our butts right at the start is from the master of making games that kick your butts right at the start, From Software. You can expect to receive a severe ego bruising at the beginning of every game in their catalogue, but we've gone for Bloodborne for 2 reasons. 1, we love it, and 2, it keeps beating you until your spirit is thoroughly broken. The initial beating comes from the first enemy you see in the game, likely killing you after having control for just a few seconds. The Scourge Beast is a werewolf-esque creature that, if you're unfamiliar with the Soulsborne shtick, will no doubt leave players in fear of what's to come. Those familiar with the shtick will say something more like, yes, the obligatory first boss death. I don't feel bad about dying here at all. Which is hilarious, because even when you go back to Yharnam all tooled up from the hunter's dream, the Scourge Beast can still give you a royal hiding, and that's saying nothing of the huntsman's mob waiting to greet you on the first street, or the brick troll down that alley, or the executioner around the corner, or when you accidentally start the fight with the cleric beast. Not to worry though, it gets easier from there. There's like things coming through the wall! Come on then, out! I'm dead straight away! I'm dead as soon as I put my face out! Thanks, From Software. Another game that kicked your butt right at the start is, I suspect for many of you, your first experience of having your butts kicked right at the start. I am, of course, talking about PS1 classic Driver, a brilliant game, but one that always seems to elicit the same response from whomever I speak to about it.
I never even finished the first level.
I never even passed the first level.
I never even finished the first level.
Oh, yeah, I know the one. I beat that first time. I did.
Completed receiving a royal ass kicking, you mean? This notoriously tough tutorial appears so simple on the surface. Just complete these simple maneuvers. Show us what you can do. It turns out what I can do is scream louder than tyres on a handbrake turn as I crash into pillars for the 27th time. To give you an example of how clueless I was when I first played this, I thought a slalom was something you put on a pizza. And then a 9-inch deep pan with pepperoni and extra slaloms. Not to worry though, you've got plenty of time to figure it out. 60 whole seconds in fact, which for me was enough time to fail 3 times and throw the disc out the window in pathetic defeat. Seriously, if you managed to do this as a kid back in the day, I take my hat off to you. If you've done it as an adult, then I'll put this hat on to you, and this one, and then take them both off. Well done. Game that kicked your butt right at the start, number 3, is Wolong Fallen Dynasty, a game that thrusts you into a ludicrously difficult fight in the first 20 minutes against the imposing Zhang Liang, a very large man using an equally large pineapple on a stick to lead a discussion on who's boss. It's him, he's the boss. One of the unique features of Wolong's Souls-like combat systems is the ability to take NPCs into battle with you, who help by chipping away at and distracting the various warriors of the 3 kingdoms so you can relax a little. In this tutorial, however, the NPCs do so little damage and die so quickly they may as well be made of marzipan. Oh, I like marzipan. And let's not forget he basically turns into a Resident Evil boss in his second phase, with a hulked out pointy arm that also doubles as a giant meat whip, throwing sweeping area of effect attacks that turn an already tough parry fest into a smorgasbord of pain. There's a reason Access community manager Alex said that Zhang Liang gave him, and I quote, "more trouble than any other boss in the game." And if the person Alex coerced into playing the game for him found it hard, you know it really is tough. Vampire Survivors is the fourth game that starts by kicking your butt, and it does so similarly to Driver, by giving you basically no explanation as to how the game works. Sure, you have to survive vampires, and you do that by shooting them and leveling up, but if you assume that's all there is to it, you're in for a world of hurt. Just ask anyone who's gone for the Platinum Trophy. This game goes way deeper than you think. And the result of that is you will die a lot, without feeling like you've made any real progress. And that will continue to happen until you start to notice the similarities between your best runs, beginning to understand the synergies between different items and how they interact with certain characters is the first step to unlocking the seasoned vampire slayer that lives within you. Or you can do what I always like to do, which is give it another few runs and then give up. There's no shame in it. Not everyone is capable of besting every challenge, and I would argue that recognising your own limitations and working within them is actually practicing self-care.
Are you just trying to justify being bad at Vampire Survivors?
Yes. Game number 5 is Nier Automata, and it doesn't so much kick your butt at the start as repeatedly beat you until you're cowering in the corner begging for mercy, and then it beats you more for good measure. The main hurdle you have to overcome is the fact that when you die during the prologue, you have to go right back to the beginning, unskippable cutscenes and all. It's not so bad if you're playing on easy or normal difficulty, but if you're playing on hard, it is truly unforgiving. And that difficulty is amplified by the sheer variety of mechanics you'll encounter in the prologue, which are as follows: top-down bullet hell shooter, then action platformer, then hack and slash combat, then a massive boss fight, then hack and slash in shifting perspectives, then even bigger boss fight, and finally more bullet hell. That is too much for me to read in one go, let alone successfully play. If you look up videos of elite gamers doing this tutorial on the hardest difficulty, you can see it done in maybe 30 minutes without dying. However, if you Google the prologue, you will see pages and pages of people saying how it is the most relentlessly punishing introduction to a game they've ever endured. You will see advice that says, play the tutorial on lower difficulties and then ramp it up afterwards, which is not something I had to worry about because I played the whole game on easy, and that is fine. The penultimate example of a game kicking your butt right at the start is Kingdom Come Deliverance, which some might consider a cop-out because it kicks your butt pretty much the entire way through the game. Which it does, to be fair, but it relishes the opportunity to stick its steel-toe caps into your posterior right at the beginning. And it delights in taking advantage of unassuming players expecting a typical RPG where they start off powerful and eventually become a legendary hero. Not Henry of Skalitz, though, a peasant so insignificant and unheroic that even being controlled by a seasoned gamer will see him take a thrashing from the local drunk so severe that he literally has to run home to his mother. Not exactly the origin story of legend and myth one hopes for, is it? And it doesn't stop there. You'll probably also be chastised for forgetting to eat, failing to haggle for some charcoal, and earning more rump welts at sword practice, all of which is before the game really even starts, with a cutscene just a few moments after you finish your first quest, leaving you a penniless orphan with no allies and no roof over your head. But you do get to throw poo at a person's house, so it could be worse. The final game that kicks your butt right at the start is Devil May Cry 5, which pulls the classic sequel trick of making you feel weak after the last game by having you lose the first boss fight. Or in this case, having you both lose the first boss fight. That's right, former Holy Knight and all-round badass Nero walks into the boss arena to see literal half-demon and former protagonist Dante out cold on the floor, surrounded by the bodies of his teammates, which is sure to fill anyone with confidence. Then Nero notices the thing that put them there, the viney colossus known as Urizen, a towering 37-eyed monster that is also the embodiment of Virgil's demon half after he split his soul in two, with the other half being... It doesn't matter. What does matter is that you are barely out of the Power Fantasy tutorial before being brought back down to Earth with an obnoxiously hard bang. Urizen is a boss fight you are literally designed to lose. His health bar barely budges after your attacks, whereas his attacks will cleft your health bar in two. Even after going back via New Game Plus or as a mission replay, it takes real skill to best him. But if you do manage it, you're rewarded with a trophy and a secret ending. After all of that effort though, I want the devs to personally deliver me a medal.
Oh, well done. I didn't realise you'd beaten Urizen at the start.
I haven't. I was just pretending. So that was 7 games that kicked your butt right at the start. If you enjoyed this video, you can start with the simple task of giving it a like, and then try the slightly harder task of leaving a comment down below. And we will personally kick your butt if you don't subscribe and click that notification bell to keep up to date with all things PlayStation and to see more videos like this every Friday. Goodbye for now, and see you again soon. Hello, you've caught me...
That's what you get for starting the video the same way every week!
Oh my god. Oh. Ooh. Oh boy. I got what I asked for there.
I bet that felt lovely on your face with that beautiful chin cushion texture.
That was
That's awesome!
that was great, Rose.